text to follow with Father Tony and the kids. Good afternoon, Father Tony, family, friends. On behalf of Evelyn, Alan, Stephen, Michael, and the entire Romanelli family, I would like to welcome you and thank you for being here as we celebrate the life of Aldo Romanelli. According to his Italian birth document, Aldo Leone Romanelli was born on June 22nd, 1927 in Silvi, Italy, to Nicola Romanelli and Giulia de Amicis. He would forever come to be known by one name, simply Aldo. As soon as anyone said Aldo, you knew exactly who they were talking about. Kind of like LeBron, Madonna. That's my wife's life. Throughout his lifetime, he had a few other simple name monikers, such as Chief, and in his later years, Pop to us and Papa to his grandkids. When Aldo was 16 months old, he spent 12 days on a ship with his mother and his older sister traveling to America. There they would begin a new life with his father, who was waiting for them in Detroit, Michigan. From that point on, his parents made sure he and his siblings embraced the American way of life, always celebrating their Italian heritage. Aldo attended Detroit public schools until the age 13. As he prepared for high school, his father had a different idea. His father enrolled him in Ford Trade School. Every day he would ride the streetcar with his dad to work. It was at Ford where he learned the tool and die trade that would become his passion. In 1945, at the age of 18, which is that picture at the front of the altar, he was drafted to the United States Army and was stationed with the 23rd Fighter Squadron in Panama Canal Zone. This is where he got the famous dancing lady tattoo on his forearm. He would have that for his lifetime. His original job in the Army was a target holder in the back of airplanes. After a few rounds of ammunition landing closer to him than the targets, he decided it was time for a new job. That day he saw a sign on the mess hall, "Cooks Wanted." He promptly walked in and told them he was qualified. He didn't even know how to boil water. He learned how to cook going to bakers and cook schools, and he would spend the rest of his Army career in the kitchen. In 1947, he completed his service and received an honorable discharge with the rank of corporal, and he was awarded the World War II Victory Medal. As Michael said last night, I think everybody got one of those. He returned home to his family in Detroit. That included his older sister, Yolanda, two younger brothers, Ernesto and Quintino. By this time, Yolanda owned her own beauty shop. She employed a petite young assistant who wore bright red lipstick named Evelyn Petrona. One afternoon, Aldo dropped by the shop to visit, and Yolanda asked him to drive Evelyn home after her shift ended. Thus began a love affair that lasted more than 6 decades. By the way, Dad, in his not-so-subtle way, convinced Mom to stop wearing the red lipstick. In 1949, they were married and celebrated their special day with 1,000 of their closest friends. The wedding celebration lasted from morning until night, which included breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This might give you a little insight into where the four of us learned how to party. After son 1 arrived, a year later, every 4.5 years, son 2, 3, and 4 made their appearance. By this time, Dad was firmly entrenched in the garage door industry. was employed by Stanley Door Systems as a sales engineer. Excuse me. In the late 60s, Mom and Dad made a big decision to leave Detroit and join Auntie Ellen and Uncle Steve in South Florida. And the rest, you might say, is history. Dad was a man's man, especially with the four of us. He wasn't quite sure, though, how to deal with his future daughter-in-laws as they joined the family. But as time went on, he treasured each one of them in his own way. He had a special place in his heart for his 10 grandchildren. As they grew older, he always wanted to sit them down and ask how their lives were going and discuss education and career plans. If one of them was having a conversation with him, they better have answers to his questions. Recently, I was looking over the Romanelli family descendants record, and the description of Dad simply said, hard worker. My brothers and I couldn't agree more. In his early years, he was happiest in an apron and a chef's hat, cooking in the kitchen with his sous chef mom by his side, cleaning up his mess. In his later years, he was totally content in greasy overalls, tinkering on his machines at Allied Doors. Mom would be there by his side, cleaning up his messes again. It wasn't unusual to find Mom on top of a big machine with a rag, following Dad's instructions how to degrease it. As he reached his 80s, he continued to work with us at Allied Doors 5 days a week. He could be found riding his scooter throughout the warehouse with Mom walking right beside him. Dad was a great role model, loving and caring man, always respectful of others, and honest to a fault. His legacy to his family was, if you work hard, good things will happen, and the results will make you proud. Life with Dad wasn't always work and no play, though. And we have many stories to tell over and over again that make us laugh every time. Every Saturday morning, around 7 a.m., Dad got great pleasure out of opening the bedroom window, starting up the lawnmower to let us know it was time to cut the grass. If that didn't work, he would come inside, peel the covers back on the bed, and smack the bottom of our feet as hard as he could. That usually got our attention. Anyone who knew him realized he had huge hands. That was not fun on the bottom of our feet. We solved this issue one Christmas. We bought him lawn service and pool service. He didn't know we only paid for 1 month. He got stuck with the bill. We didn't have to cut the grass for him. One of our favorite stories to tell over and over is something we don't recommend to you kids today. One day, Dad came home with a brand new 1970 Pontiac station wagon with the wood on the sides. We were preparing for a family trip back to Michigan. By this time, Alan was driving. When he came home, he asked Dad if he could take the new car for a ride. He grabbed me and we drove straight to Sheehan Pontiac. Alan, in his salesmanship manner, convinced the car salesman that my dad bought the wrong car for him. Alan said he wants that sky blue GTO with the 404 barrel in the showroom. Needless to say, Alan and I drove home in the sky blue GTO. My dad didn't say a word, believe it or not. He accepted it, and he trusted Alan's judgment at that time. The next day, the six of us took off to Michigan. in a 5-seater car with Alan driving, Dad sitting in the passenger seat with a 6-pack of beer, Mom, Stephen, Michael, and I in the back seat, Michael and Stephen sitting in the wheel wells of the floor, heating up next to the transmission that rode down the middle of the car for a 1,500-mile drive. For the past 3 years, it has taken more than just our immediate family to meet the challenges of making Dad comfortable. We have so many special individuals that have been part of Team Aldo. And we definitely couldn't have done it without you. We want to express our sincere thanks to Monique, Janet, and Susan of Care Consultants and their outstanding staff of Sergio, Harvey, Paulette, and Maisie for their amazing care of Dad. He had a special place in his heart for all of you, and so do we. My brothers and I want to thank our amazing wives for their unconditional love and support they have given our parents. Thank you, and we love you. Sean just snuck that one in on me. When Dad retired from Stanley Door Systems, Alan wrote this poem, which seems to sum up Dad's life. A dedicated man through and through. It's nice to see Dad get his due. A Stanley man all the way, so deserving of this special day. Always to give and never to take. Whatever you needed, he would make. To some a teacher, some a pal. A husband, a father, but to most, just Al. Best of all, on one you can depend, Dad will always be our friend. A special thanks from your 4 sons. Because of you, we stand as one. You make us believe in what is right. So proud to be here honoring you tonight. Dad, here's to you with God's blessings from above, with all our love. Thank you very much.
Please stand.